Indiana Governor Mike Pence does not want you to see his emails. He thinks it will set a dangerous precedent. Now, there's a larger story here that starts back when President Obama wanted to defer punishment on parents of illegal immigrant parents who had children who were born in America, as well as immigrants who showed up before they were 16 years old. So they wanted to defer that. The Texas Governor Greg Abbott filed a lawsuit, and Mike Pence wanted to explore whether it was smart for Indiana to get into the lawsuit. So Pence hired a law firm to counsel him. Now, there is an Indiana attorney named William Groth who wanted more info on that. And according to this quote from William Groth, he said, "I think joining the lawsuit without the attorney general and hiring that firm was a waste of taxpayer dollars, and the people have the right to know how much of their money was spent." So he just wanted this information. Mike Pence and his administration submitted some information for this this query by William Groth, but they redacted like a very major white paper, part of the document, and so they redacted a lot of it. Groth filed a lawsuit to get more of that information, but the Supreme Court of Indiana ruled against him, saying, we just are not going to get involved in this. So Mike Pence is able to redact what he wants in this email, and the Justice Department is not allowed to, the judicial branch is not allowed to intervene, and we can't do anything about that. There was one dissenting opinion that said the majority's ruling is not only premature, but it unfortunately weighs in on a significant separation of powers issue without an adequate record. So they're basically saying, and a lot of people who dissent to this are saying, this gives a judicial precedent for executive branches to step in and redact information without letting the public know about it through the Freedom of Information Act or any other kind of act. And William Groth, the attorney behind it, said that's not fair, as have many people, some of whom were appointed by Mike Pence. And so that is the unfortunate situation we're in now. This against a backdrop of Mike Pence having told Chris Matthews on Hardball, "I truly do believe, as Abe Lincoln said, give the people the facts and the republic will be saved."
Yeah, that's right. It's nice to know that Abe Lincoln only had to kill half the country to do it. So maybe...
Yeah, this whole, it's ironic that we're talking about, for obvious reasons, looking at Mike Pence's email. I can't imagine anything less interesting than looking at Mike Pence's email, by the way. But yeah, it does set a dangerous precedent. But there have to be ways of ensuring that these FOIA requests are met. And if they have to redact some of those things, that's fine. But they have to sort of say. I think they have to say in what spheres they were redacted and why they were redacted. They have to give reasons for it rather than just blind redaction. This was, this concerns a case that's still pending. This is, where do you draw the line? But, again, this is going to keep coming up and coming up and coming. They're going to have to find a cure for it because they haven't found a cure for it yet.
Yeah. Again, if the email, if the Congress switches, if it flips to Democrat, it will be nonstop hearing investigation, as it should be, by the way. Of the Trump administration and their criminality, because there will be plenty. Right. There's plenty going in. Yeah. Just the conflict of interest with businesses, what have you, and anyway. So there'll be. Let's put our fingers crossed. In 2 years. The thing that Trump being elected was the craziest thing ever, which it is. So us being the Democrats being able to take over the Congress is also a crazy idea. Maybe that happens.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
it's a crazy idea, but look what happened this year. They can't put anything past it.
Yeah, right. It's tough.
Never happens that way, though.
I know. It never seems to happen that way.
But what's troubling is that the Indiana Supreme Court said we can't weigh in on anything about this. If the executive branch wants to redact stuff, that's their purview. Makes a lot of people wonder. But we have checks and balances. Why aren't they able to articulate exactly why they're not allowed?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do they have to? Shouldn't they have to offer reasons to the court why it was redacted? Or does that just set a precedent that it would happen with every single document in every single state every day?
It's set a precedent. People are worried about on the other side. It's set a precedent that executives can redact whatever they want. And we can never, and they don't have to give any justification as to why, and we never find out what it was that they redacted, or even at the bare minimum, what they're even saying as a reason that they don't want it out there.